Hey, Janet,
Hey, Rachel.
do you think slavery is bad?
I think slavery is so beyond horrific, I don't even have a word to use for it.
You know what? I also think it's terrible. But just yesterday, in the United Nations, they passed a resolution calling the transatlantic slave trade a crime against humanity, and the United States voted no.
Hmm. Maybe in response to that,
So
we should talk about the movie Antebellum.
we should definitely talk about Antebellum. Let's get into
Let's
it.
do it. All right. So, welcome to our podcast. We are
Should I
called
watch that?
"Should I Watch That?" or with an ex with a with a question. Should I watch that? With a question mark. I'm Janet,
And I'm Rachel.
and we welcome you with open arms
And open hearts.
and open minds.
And we would like to unilaterally say that slavery and racism is bad, okay?
Bad, 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 bad across the board.
The worst. Very horrific.
Nothing good about it, ever.
Um, Nothing good about it. And last week, Janet was traveling for work,
Hmm.
and on the airplane, she decided to watch the 2020 film Antebellum. And I've seen that movie before, but I rewatched it because we wanted to talk about it. And, it was just divine intervention, I guess you could say, that this United Nations resolution happened just yesterday. Um,
And
so we're
yeah,
talking about it.
so politics aside, this movie rocked my world. And
Hmm.
so few movies do that, that I begged Rachel to do a throwback from 6 years ago to talk about this movie because so rarely am I surprised by some kind of plot twist. Rarely do I think to myself, I wonder what's going on right now. And I'm sitting on the plane, and for an hour and a half or so, the fact that I was hurtling through space and time in a metal tube seemed to fade away as I watched
Yeah.
this film by Gerard Bush and Christopher Renz. So
Yes,
we're going to talk about it today. And then you are going to go
we
watch it
are.
and be like, damn, girls, I am so glad you told me to watch that. Assuming that Rachel
Uh
likes it
huh.
too.
Absolutely. Definitely one of the best movies
Ever. And right.
ever. I mean, it's so good.
And if you want to go watch it now, obviously it's 6 years old. You can get it on Apple TV or Amazon. You can rent it for the low, low
Yep.
price of $3.99.
I know. My gosh. Um, so I'm going to give us a little bit of an overview.
Okay.
So the story follows Veronica Henley, who is a successful modern day author and sociologist, played by Janelle Monáe, who I love, by the way.
Love her.
Not only is she stunning, but she's an amazingly talented everything. I really like her.
Hmm.
But her character in the movie is outspoken, sharp, and very much in control of her world until the film begins to fracture that
Hmm.
reality.
Hmm.
So, intercut with her present day life is a haunting narrative set on a brutal southern plantation during the antebellum era. There, a woman named Eden lives under horrifying conditions, subjected to the violence and dehumanization of slavery. As the film unfolds, the lines between past and present begin to blur in unsettling ways. Um, so yeah, it really just shows like the systemic racism, the lingering effects of the transatlantic slave trade, not only in the United States, but just on our culture and how like deep
Hmm.
seated that is and it goes. So it's such a well done movie.
So well done. And we'll give some spoilers, but we'll give you the heads up before we do so. So if you want
Yeah.
to experience the surprise on your own, you can do that. Because we care about you,
Yes.
dear listener.
We do. We sure do care about you. And we want you to watch the movie.
Yes.
We're going to just go ahead and spoil the end of our
Yeah.
entire podcast right now and go ahead. Should you watch it? Yes. I mean, absolutely.
That was easy. Goodbye. Um, okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. So,
But we will give you an overview and just our thoughts about it. But
yes,
go ahead, Jamie.
yes. So I was just going to say, I think you have a list of some casting characters that you want to share with us.
I sure do. As I mentioned, Janelle Monáe is the main character, and she plays Veronica Henley and the character Eden. Eric Lang plays Senator Blake Denton. Jenna Malone plays Elizabeth. Jack Houston or Huston plays Captain Jasper. Kiersey Clemens plays Julia. Gabourey Sidibe plays Dawn. Tungaya Charissa is Eli, and Robert Aramayo plays Daniel. So honestly, an amazing cast.
Amazing
Like
cast.
all very good actors and actresses. And they all played such like believable parts.
Hmm.
Um,
So,
I mean, you could go ahead.
yeah. Well, so the movie opens and you are on a southern plantation.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Mm-hmm.
slaves literally picking
Mm-hmm.
cotton in the fields. You have Confederate soldiers riding around on horses, monitoring the slaves and pushing them to do more and work harder. You have these same Confederate soldiers raping the slaves, treating them inhumanely on at
Mm-hmm.
every turn. You see these slaves, you see their suffering, and the character of Eden, who's the first one that you really connect with, like you see it on her face, like she wants to escape. She's biding her time, and there was just it's just horrible. So you see all of these things happening, and I remember thinking when I was watching the movie, like, I don't really recall this being part of the trailer. I don't think this is what, and I was confused.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a scene where she's lying there in bed after this colonel or whoever he was had
Mm-hmm.
forced himself on her, and he just rolls over and falls asleep in bed with her. And she's lying
Yep.
there, and you hear a cell phone ring.
Yeah.
And it transitions from Eden to Veronica. And she's in
Mm-hmm.
bed with her husband and their child, and her publisher's on the phone or something like that. And my
Mm-hmm.
poor little sad brain just went, for a second because I was very confused.
Excuse me. Yes, and I think that that was so well done how they like flipped kind of back and forth between past and present.
Mhm.
It was like so powerfully done cuz you're seeing her Eden go through these horrors, and then you go and you see Veronica being this badass woman that she is, who's going on a book tour or speaking tour or whatever, and talking about racial justice and you know rights and all this. um and there's also a scene kind of when it flashes to Veronica in present day. There's a scene where it's like a news clip where she is on I don't know, like a CNN or an MSNBC, and she's debating the senator guy.
Mhm.
And he is very much like white nationalist, anti progress, okay, which is currently extremely relevant in what's happening in the United States of America
Mhm.
in the year of our Lord 2026. Um, and she's debating him, and she basically hands him his ass
Mhm.
in this little debate, right? Um, and then it unfolds from there. And I don't want to give away the spoiler just in case you all have not seen this movie because it's so good. And to Janet's point, you don't realize till it's happening like what the spoiler is, but
Mhm.
it's done so well. Um, but I do love that they juxtapose like not only do they talk about like the scars of slavery,
Mhm.
right? How horrible and how lasting and how profound that time was, but
Mhm.
also how it still bleeds into the present.
Mhm. It's
Um,
interesting you say that because the movie opens with a quote from a novel by William Faulkner, and the quote is, "The past is never dead. It's not even past."
mhm,
And like that's all I could think when I started watching the movie is that Eden's character is one of Veronica's ancestors. Like that's where I went with
mhm,
it.
yeah,
And boy was I surprised.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Um, yeah, it's wild how they put that together
mhm.
and how they transitioned it, and then how you're like, "Excuse me."
I know, right.
Um, well, because in one of the scenes at the beginning too, so the character Eli, played by, and I'm sorry, I'm probably pronouncing his name terribly wrong. Um, Tongai Charissa.
Mhm.
I apologize for butchering that name if I'm getting that wrong. Um, plays the character Eli, and he is a fellow enslaved man who Eden's character kind of they lean on each other. You can tell that they are uh, kind of in cahoots to
Mhm.
try to get out of there, to
Cahoots.
escape. And in the beginning, there's this scene where they're dragging this other woman away, and it turns out it's Eli's woman,
Mhm.
wife, girlfriend, whoever she was to him. And they kill her. And later on, they had this they had this house, like the size of an outhouse, I guess you could say,
Mhm.
and they were burning the dead in there.
Mhm.
And at one point, the slaver sends Eli to go clean it out. And his wife had just been in there.
It's basically like a little crematorium, a little brick
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
building like a crematorium. And
Yes.
this
And,
fucker sends him in there.
hmm
Oh my god, like
but the end, how
horrible.
that crematorium comes into play is divine
Is
justice, I would say.
divine. Like
I, what happens with that crematorium, ladies and gentlemen, and their he, she's, theys, thems, everyone. At the end of this movie, you're going to be screaming with joy over that crematorium
mhm.
for different reasons. Not joy, but anyways. Um, but yeah, and to the actors and actresses' credit, my God, you could feel their emotion in these scenes.
And how
It was their performances were just so believable. I mean, I was in tears the whole movie. I'm
yes.
a crybaby anyway, but I was just like
and and
sobbing.
how and sometimes I have a hard time letting go. I'm very clinical about it. But like how can a white male actor say and do things to a black female actor and still keep it professional, right? Like there's got to be like I don't know. Like I think like you're acting, you're on set, clearly it's not real,
Mhm.
But to say and do
I
the
would feel so
things. Oh,
guilty.
I
Yeah.
know. To say and do the things that they did, which I we all know happened, but oh my
Yes.
God, it's just painful.
Right. And like again, kudos to the performers for
Mhm.
putting on an amazing performance. And I would, if I had to act in this movie and say some of these things, I'd be like, as soon as they yelled cut, I'd be like, I'm so
I'm
sorry. I'm
so
so sorry.
sorry.
I'm so sorry. Are you okay?
Please,
I don't
please,
think that.
you know
I
it's
don't
not
think
me.
this at all.
I'm so sorry.
Please. I would be like, whatever I need to do to atone for my behavior filming that film, I would be doing. Oh my God. Yeah, I can't even like bring myself to like think the N word. You know what I mean?
Right?
And they're
And they're just making you feel like it's actually happening. And that's just insane.
oh, it makes me want to throw up. So
Okay.
what go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask if, like, should we do the spoiler and give people a heads up that
Sure.
we're going to spoil it?
Heads up. Heads up, we're going to spoil the surprise. So if you don't want to be spoiled, then skip ahead like 2 minutes.
Skippy, skippy.
And I'll try to keep track of the time so we don't mess anybody up. But all right, here comes the spoiler, everybody. Should I do it?
Go for it.
Okay, so um the spoiler is that this plantation is not in the past at all. It's present day. And these fanatical white nationalist nut jobs have kidnapped all of these black people and enslaved them in modern day on a plantation. And they are torturing and killing and murdering these people. And it's all in the name of wanting to bring back the, you know, white is right, like
Mhm.
the Confederate, like this whole mentality of the past and reliving that and treating other human beings like absolute dog shit.
Mhm.
And that's the part that I think was like so freaking powerful because, the senator gets done raping
Mhm.
Veronica slash Eden and then goes out to his horse and gets on his cell phone to call his wife
Yeah.
to be like, "Oh, I'm going to be home late."
And I think that's the moment that got me is when he was in Eden's cabin with her and the cell phone rings. And I'm like, "Oh, it
Mhm.
happened again like it did at the beginning." And then he goes out there and picks up his phone and I'm like, "The fuck is happening right now?"
Oh,
And
yes.
it hit
That
me.
that was kind of that was kind of the revelation moment.
And toward right before that revelation moment, you see Veronica get into an Uber, a car,
An
whatever.
Uber.
Yeah, and then
Mhm.
when they don't go the right direction, she's like, "Hey, y'all, wait a minute." And then you realize that's when they kidnap her.
Yes.
And whew, and it hit me sort of like um a la The Village by M. Night Shyamalan, where they're
Oh,
living out in the
yeah.
middle of nowhere, but they're actually like in a state park and only like three people know that's where they're living.
Right.
It was insane.
Well, and that's kind of what was happening, right? And that's
Mhm.
how they were able to kind of cover their tracks. Um and we're still kind of on spoilers, everybody,
Mhm.
because it kind of came back to that senator guy who Veronica was debating on the news or whatever.
Mhm.
He was the one that like owned that land and was using part of that land as like a Civil War like
Mhm.
reenactment area,
Mhm.
and then was using that as like a cover for this fake slash real plantation that they set up in the back of it,
And
which was wild.
I cannot imagine. I physically, mentally, emotionally cannot imagine a world where people would think that way of life is the best way, to the point that they would go to these lengths to kidnap and enslave other human beings to live out this fantasy.
But it's not a fantasy to them. To them, this is
Oh.
the true reality, right? Um,
Mm.
and we've been seeing this play out. Okay, I want to circle back here,
Mhm.
and I want to tie this film into current events and what's been happening over the last several years. Not only with this UN resolution that happened yesterday, March 25th, 2026, but also over the last few years in the United States. Um, there have been multiple pushes and legislation that's been brought around to restrict education and curriculum. So many states have passed laws limiting how race and slavery can be taught, and it's often tied to bans on so called divisive concepts or critical race theory, as everyone on that side of the line likes to call it, even though critical race theory is a very specific thing that is mostly discussed in colleges and is not being taught to our young children.
I hope not.
But, they're using that as like a term. Um, the guidelines often restrict this teaching because they say it causes discomfort related to historical racism. And in certain districts, school districts, textbooks and lessons have been edited or challenged for how they describe slavery. So there's been a lot of debates over using language instead of kidnapping and enslavement, using language like involuntary relocation.
Oh my god, we're not rehoming our pet. Like,
Correct.
I and I can't, I almost said the word, I said the phrase, "Why are we trying to whitewash this?" But that's what they're doing.
But
And
that's exactly what they're
if
doing.
you don't know where you came from, if you don't understand the horrible things that you did in the past,
Hmm.
you're just gonna repeat it in some way, shape, or
Yes.
form.
And we're
Oh,
seeing that.
mm, my
I mean,
mind
we're
can't handle
currently
it.
seeing that. We're currently seeing that with the ICE detention,
Mhm.
right?
And
Is we're
human
is
trafficking, ICE, it's
we're
just
kidnapping and we're trafficking brown people
mhm.
again. We're putting them in detention centers so that these prison system people can make money off of them. Our tax dollars are being used to not only fund ICE but also to fund these concentration camps
Mhm.
that they're not providing medical care, they're not providing adequate food, water, or facilities for the people that are there. They're letting people die. I mean, ICE agents have been caught basically betting each other what detainees will commit suicide. There's agents that are raping children and then sending them to a facility in Texas because they can't get abortions in Texas.
Oh my god.
It's a whole thing. It's terrible. But anyways, getting back to what's been happening over the years. So not only are we restricting the education around slavery, we're also banning books. And right now I'm wearing my Read Banned Books t-shirt for this very recording, because the titles that they have either removed or restricted in schools across the country in the United States are largely titles that have dealt with racism and black history, slavery and civil rights, and systemic inequality. They're literally,
Oh, it never
literally.
happened. It was just a dream.
Yes,
Like, how
exactly.
we did it. Somebody needs to talk
Mhm.
about it.
Yeah.
People,
There's also
children, our children need to understand what happened and know that it's
yes.
wrong, and that the
Yeah.
world that they're living in, you can't just believe everything you read. You need to understand where we came from and what we've done.
Well, they're basically trying to limit uh, limit critical thinking as much as possible, right? And that's also why they're trying to defund and dismantle the Department of Education, because a populace that is uneducated is a populace that is easier to manipulate.
We are not sheep.
That's the goal. Well, they think we are.
Mm.
And by they, I mean the people in power, the government, the billionaires. They think we're idiots. They think we're expendable. And they're trying to. This is all extremely relevant, and it really pisses me off. I don't know if, dear listener, if you could tell. Um, but all of this happening over the last, 5, 6, 7 years, basically since Trump 1.0, a lot of this has been happening. Um, and in addition to the school systems and banning books, they're also like taking down exhibits at museums that discuss slavery and race. And they're, taking down monuments and just, you know what? It's pissing me off. I'm getting really, my blood pressure is skyrocketing right now because it makes me so angry. Um, because it all circles back to this UN resolution yesterday. And I want to tell you all what that means, okay? And why people are pissed off about it. It's basically, so the UN came out and they have a resolution that they wanted to declare the transatlantic slave trade as, in quotes, the gravest crime against humanity. Okay. So basically just acknowledging, hey, this was real bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the language in the resolution then encouraged, okay, did not mandate or say like you have to do this, but encouraged reparations of some sort for this travesty,
Mm-hmm.
like compensation, like apologizing, like returning artifacts to their countries of origin. So 123 countries voted in favor, and 3 countries voted against it, which was the United States, of course, Israel, and Argentina. And I do want to be clear that the U.S. voting no was not acknowledging like slavery is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, their reasoning, what they've come out and said, is that they don't like the wording of the resolution, which and that comes around the reparations. They don't want to be legally liable for financial reparations,
Mm-hmm.
which is bullshit. That's really stupid. And they don't want it to be retroactive. So they don't want, you know, oh, the past is in the past kind of thing. But you know what? The optics on this matter because it's basically not acknowledging historical truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's not acknowledging the lasting harm that the transatlantic slave trade, uh, the harm on countries and peoples and all of those things. And it's voting no, essentially, to opening the door to continuing justice.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why people are pissed. So, you know, but look who we have in office. Okay.
Well, yeah, a man who couldn't even denounce white supremacists. Was it his first term that?
All the terms.
Well, all the time. The first term where it was a white supremacist Klansman or something in South Carolina, like a car was driven
Mm-hmm.
into a crowd of people or something. Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
and he wouldn't even stand
Yeah.
against
He's
racism, essentially.
correct. He said they're very good people.
Mm. And here we are again.
Here we are. So, I get fired up, everybody. I don't know if you could tell, but it really pisses me off. And it's just so crazy that, Janet wanted us to talk about this movie and then that UN thing happened yesterday and I was like,
Mm.
"Oh, hell no." we're going to we're bringing this up and we're going to talk about it. So, here we are. We're talking about it. But ultimately, dear listeners, I think you should go watch this movie because it's so well done. The acting is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it's so relevant, unfortunately, and
Well,
it's
and
just a good
I
movie.
never would have seen the twist coming. Honestly, like I said at the beginning, so rarely surprised. And I
Mhm.
was shocked, shock and awe, people, shock and awe.
Mhm.
And interestingly, Gerard Bush, who was one of the co-writers and directors, got the idea from a nightmare that he had one time. And he originally thought it would be a good basis for a short story, but then he ended up developing it with his co-director into a screenplay. And it was supposed to be released as a feature film in theaters, but it came out about the same time the world shut down with the pandemic. So it went
Yeah.
straight to streaming. And I don't know
Oh, I didn't
why I
realize
didn't
that.
see it then, because this is my kind of
Oh.
movie for sure. So,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, a lot of things were going on then, Jan.
What with the
There was
global pandemic?
Yeah, there was a lot of death and despair at that time too, so we forgive you
Thank you.
for your grievance, but everyone else, please go watch this movie.
Definitely watch this movie and let us know what you think.
Yeah,
Email us. We list all that stuff at the end of the podcast, but email us or message us or something and let us know if you loved it as
yeah.
much as we did.
And we're also on TikTok, everybody. If you haven't checked us out on there, please do and, follow us, interact with our stuff. We're trying to, make this podcast at least a side gig that we can start getting paid for.
So,
So any of your support is helpful to us human beings.
yeah, and Rachel has been ticking and talking left and right. She's got some great stuff posted. So find us, follow us, love us.
Yes.
Yay.
Because we love you.
As we love you. All
All
right.
right, everybody. We'll see you next time on Should You Watch That?
From our mouth holes to your ear.
To your ear holes.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
This episode was produced by Ryan Myrick.
Follow us on Instagram at Should I Watch That 25 and on Facebook at Should I Watch That.
Email us at shouldiwatchthat25@gmail.com
Like, follow, and review wherever you listen to us.
or wherever you cast your pods. Thanks.
Thank you.